My grandmother joined many of the women on Bernard Street who left home before daylight to catch as many as 3 streetcars that transported them to manicured communities just west of the city limits. They arrived early to homes where they cooked and served scrambled eggs for breakfast and readied white children for school. The rest of their day was spent cooking, cleaning, and doing laundry until boarding streetcars in the evening that returned them home just in time to go to bed. Grandmama said that there were sundown laws that mandated people of color to be off the streets in the county by sunset. If she had to work late, her white folks, that's how she referred to her employers, would drive her to the Wellston Loop to catch an eastbound streetcar back into the city. My grandmother was in bed by 7:30, which was our time to be quiet. A slammed front door, a burst of laughter, or the rhythmic thumps of Sam Cooke singing "Another Saturday Night and I Ain't Got Nobody" on the radio would elicit familiar rapping on our bedroom floor. There was a broomstick leaning against the wall, an arm's length from her bed, just for the purpose of pounding a signal for silence. Sometimes, out of frustration, she would shuffle in her well-worn slippers to the top of the stairs and call down to my mother, in a commanding tone made no less threatening by her shaky, weary voice. "Frances, make those children be quiet." It usually worked for the rest of the evening. Halfway up the stairs that led to Grandmama's rooms was my favorite retreat from the constant hum made by the 10 people inhabiting the 3 small rooms below. The worn wooden risers and treads of the steps created a perfect work desk for cutting out Betsy McCall paper dolls. The eagerly anticipated monthly issue of McCall's magazine provided me with hours of cutting out brightly colored paper, dresses, coats, and hats that I carefully crimped onto Betsy's posed body. More hours were spent drawing new outfits of my own design. Using the smooth white cardboard that forms Daddy's freshly laundered Sunday shirts into a starched folded rectangle, I cut and crafted small easels that held my paper dolls erect for miniature fashion shows. The space that divided Grandmama's quiet from our constant hum held another appeal for me. It was an opportunity to eavesdrop on my grandmother's cloistered existence just feet away. There was always a low murmur from the brown molded plastic Zenith radio that sat on the crowded table just inside her bedroom door. The black rotary telephone that took up most of the remaining space on the small table rarely rang in the evening. But when it did, I leaned in and pressed the side of my face against the upright wooden balusters and positioned an ear to hear what was said. Sometimes I could tell it was one of the sisters from church, usually Mother Vine. Mother Vine was a feisty and friendly old lady who always smiled and stroked my face on Sunday mornings when we arrived at church. She tilted my chin upwards and looked me in the eyes at my grandmother in a way my grandmother never did. She would always ask, "How's your mama?" as if to distract me while she magically presented a peppermint candy from her purse. I couldn't see Grandmama's face, but I could hear a slight smile in her voice after she said, "Hey, Vine." Phone conversations never lasted long and ended with a wry, knowing chuckle followed by, "You get some rest now. Bye." Other times when the phone rang, I would hear a voice in words that I hardly recognized. Her side of the phone conversation started with the usually questioning, "Hello?" then changed to an unfamiliar subservient, "Yes, ma'am." After a pause, her voice changed again to a soothing maternal tone that I only heard during those exchanges. "I know," she'd say reassuringly. "You'll be a good boy now. Go to bed, and I'll be there when you wake up in the morning."